What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Rivera Auto Works. I just want to do a quick video for you guys because I haven't done one in a while. Basically, I got a 2009 Mazda CX-9 that customer said it was making all sorts of noise going down the road around 40 to 50 miles an hour. I found that it was the driver's rear wheel bearing was making noise. I got it all apart here, so I'm just going to show you guys what it sounds like before I take it out. You can kind of hear it. It's pretty dry. Should be pretty quiet. It's not loose by any means. You can kind of see that there's like no play in it. It's just dried out and making noise. Basically, there's 4 bolts that you got to take out. On the back side, this is a front wheel drive, so actually this wheel bearing isn't too bad. The only problem that I ran into is basically this mounting assembly gets corroded in here because this tolerance is super tight against the knuckle assembly. So you take out these 4 Torx T60s on the back side of the knuckle assembly, and it basically bolts through the knuckle into the new hub assembly, just like that. There's a 10 millimeter that secures the wheel speed sensor into the hub. Take that out, and then I like to air hammer these out just because I don't like wasting a lot of time. You can do things differently. You can try heating up this mounting surface to try and loosen it up because this is all rusted in there into the knuckle assembly. Doing this method kind of mess up the backing plate a little bit and sometimes the bracket, and you have to kind of sand all that off. And I'll show you guys that. Basically, if you're going to use my method, it works. It ain't pretty, but it works. You just got to be careful. Use a flat chisel bit like that. And then I got it just between this brake caliper securing bracket here and then the knuckle assembly here. You can kind of see there's a little bit of space in between there. And basically, I'm gonna stick this chisel bit in between to try to press the rest of this off this knuckle assembly here. Once I get that out, then we'll get the rest of this off. So I'm just gonna do that real quick here, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. All right, guys, so I got that, you can see that I got the bit in there. You can see where I'm going here. See how it opened up a little more? That's what we're after. Here we go. So see how the knuckle assembly's loose now? Or the wheel bearing assembly's loose? You just gotta grab that, and then we can go and take the bearing out of that little bracket. And I'll show you guys what that looks like here in a second. All right, guys, so this bearing assembly basically has to come out of this bracket assembly. And so it is just rusted in between those 2 surfaces really good. So if you go to try to just hammer it out, it just won't come out. A lot of times what I've done is I usually just heat up as much as I can around here just to kind of expand this little bracket, and then it'll fall right out. If you have access to a torch, you could try using a press. I don't have a press, so we're just going to use a torch method. If you have another method, please share it. I'm always open to learning new things. I had a lot of gas going there. So yeah, basically we're just going to heat this baby up. Just get it a little bit red. Might have to take our air hammer to it after we get it glowing red a little bit, just to air hammer that out of there. It should come right out of there after we get it nice and hot. Just gotta be careful so you don't melt anything else. This is only if you got something that's got a lot of miles on it, that's got a bunch of rust too. So. Wait till that gets nice and hot. All right, guys, we got this bracket heated up. I'm gonna just air hammer it out here for you guys. Just gotta find the corner and just go at it. Just kind of go around, kind of loosen it up. Baby's in there, but it is moving. You can kind of see it doesn't have much left. You can see the edge right there. Once it gets past that little bit, we'll be out, and then I can show you guys how the new one goes in. Clean it all up. All right, guys, we almost got this thing out. It ain't a pretty replacement, but pretty much there. So we just got that baby out. Like I said, what happens is it just corrodes inside this little, in the bracket here that holds the brake caliper, and you just got to clean all this up, sand it all down, and then same with this on the rear knuckle assembly here. You got to clean all this out, clean the sealing surface so it's nice and flat, and then you can go back on with your new one. The new one should just slide right in. You shouldn't have to do anything to it as far as installing it. It should just slide right in, bolt right up, tighten it up, and then you're good. You shouldn't have to mess around. All right, guys, so I'm gonna show you guys how I clean all this stuff up. I just got like a little angle grinder with the sanding discs on it. You're gonna wanna clean all this rust that's on the inside of this knuckle assembly out of here, and then this side here, you're going to want to make sure that this is all nice and flat so that wheel bearing mounts on there flush. You don't have to go hog wild, you just got to get all the rust off of it. Real thick stuff. Take the hub assembly and make sure that it slides in there nice. It should slide in there really easily. You shouldn't have to fight anything. So if that doesn't, so you have to clean it some more. That's how you know if you got enough off there. There's just that much rust that builds up on these things real bad. hub assembly again, make sure it slides in there. Hopefully this time it does. And it's getting closer. Guys, you're going to also want to clean this bracket assembly here where the hub assembly goes inside. You want to clean this surface here and the inside of this so that thing slides right in there. Make sure it's flat. Alright, so then you just want to make sure you can test fit it, make sure it slides in real nice. Alright, see how that baby slides right in? We actually look really good. So that should just bolt right up there. You see it slid right in there. So we'll go and just bolt that right up in there and it should be good. Alright guys, we're going to fit that bearing up in there. Let me just grab another light because this one just died on me. Alright. So you grab your new hub assembly. Grab the bolt. Stick it right through. Bracket should, just like I said, slide right in. And you just slide that whole assembly back in place. You just gotta line up these bolts on the back side. Might have to adjust this knuckle a little bit just to line up the holes. I like to get all four of them started before you go and start tightening them down, just because anytime you got like a flat assembly, it's always a good habit just to get all the bolts started at least, so everything goes down nice and even. You don't need the thing getting tightened down like crooked or something. So you just want to get these all snugged up. This should go in pretty easy. You shouldn't have to fight with this because it's all, you know, the hub assembly is new. So those bolts should just go in very easily. If they don't, you obviously got to adjust something, or, you know, like I said, maybe clean up the that bracket a little bit, or where it mounts, the bracket mounts to the rear knuckle assembly. You might have to clean that up a little bit more just so everything slides together. And just on the last one here. All right, so I'm gonna get this thing up in the air and we're gonna just snug those bolts up and then put it back together. All right, guys, so those bolts that I was talking about back there, they are those 4 big T60s, T60 Torx. Those 4 bolts right back there, those are the ones I'm talking about that you gotta tighten up. So I'm just gonna tighten those up real quick here, and then we'll put that wheel speed sensor in and go from there. Just put this camera down real quick here. Hopefully we can get this off the ground. Alright. So I just got a 3/8. You just want it snugged up. Doesn't have to be crazy tight. You just want it flat against the knuckle. This is the T60 bit that I was talking about. It's a pretty good sized bit. You might have to go to Harbor Freight or like a place that just does like equipment and tools just to find that Torx bit, because normal kits don't have up to that big of a size. You just want to evenly tighten it. I usually go in like a cross pattern with something like this. All right. Alright, so we got those bolts all tight. You basically just want to make sure that the hub assembly is flat against this rear knuckle assembly. As you can see right here, it looks pretty good. You can see that bracket's nice and flat against this guy here, against the knuckle, and this is all flat. You can see out, if you can kind of see in between the hub assembly, the bolts came through underneath there. So we're looking really good. So basically now you just want to put this wheel speed sensor in. Just try to get the light here so you guys can see it. This is the wheel speed sensor. Just make sure you don't have any like rust or anything on it when you put it back in there, because obviously that's going to affect how it's going to read. This thing looks pretty good. So you're just going to slam it right back in there. It should just drop right in, and then you grab your 10mm bolt. So your 10mm bolt in there, snug that up, and then you're good. All right. Yeah, and then you just got to put the brake rotor back on and the brake caliper and the wheel. I didn't show you guys that before, so I'll just slap that on together for you real quick here. And then we will be all set with this wheel bearing. All right, guys, so you can see this bearing's nice and quiet compared to what we started with. That's what you want. You want something that's just like that. Spins real nice and easy. You don't feel any roughness when you're spinning it. It should be nice and quiet. Just go and slap your brake rotor back on. I'm sure a lot of you, if you're trying to do a wheel bearing, you guys already know how to do this. Stick that baby on there, and throw your brake caliper back on. I had a piece of cardboard in here that I put in prior before I took this all apart, just to keep the brake pads spread apart. So you can take that back out, slide your brake caliper back on. There's two 17mm bolts that hold the brake caliper on. show you guys what that looks like. So those 2 bolts I'm talking about that hold the brake caliper is this one right here. This is the top one. And then the bottom one is right there, right here. Just snug those up. And then we will get the wheel back on and this thing will be all wrapped up. Just use one of these, I've got like a cordless ratchet that I like to use. Snug those up. And then we'll throw the wheel back. All right guys, so we're just gonna throw the wheel back on and get this thing wrapped up. Lug nuts on. All right. Just zap these back on and we'll be all set. Make sure that nothing's touching here. All right, guys. That concludes our wheel bearing. If you made it this far, give your boy a like. Subscribe to the channel. If you got any comments, leave them. This was definitely not an easy repair. I mean, if you can do brakes, you can do this wheel bearing. If you don't have a torch or a press or an air hammer, then I wouldn't do this job because you're gonna need either one of those tools to get this thing apart. If you don't have anything like that or just basic hand tools, you're gonna struggle big time with this thing. Just because of the corrosion that happens between that bearing where it mounts to the bracket and to that hub on the back there. And that goes for a lot of like any style of hub or bearing, that wheel bearing that has a hub assembly attached to it. Just because those metals, that tiny bit of clearance in between, rust forms in there and then you're just gonna fight with it. So if this video helped you out, once again, give me a like and I'll see you guys on the next one.